knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, your destination for handcrafted cocktails, locally inspired dishes, and award-winning whiskey war. Learn more at highbankco.com.
All right, buddy. When did you become aware that Nico would not play in this game on Saturday, and what was your reaction to it?
Like late Friday night, and I was, I was confused initially, Bo, because, and I was even more confused on Saturday because Nico traveled with UCLA. Mm-hmm. He was in the stadium on Saturday, and if you have a concussion, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think I would get on a plane or go, sit out in front of 100,000 people with the noise going on. Maybe I'm way off base on that, but that seems strange. So I was confused by it, and I was also a little bit disappointed for Ohio State and for the defense specifically. And I asked Ryan about that. I asked Matt Patricia about it both after the game. It's like they don't want to be dismissive of the opponent, but I know in the build-up to the game that was the only real area that concern's not the word, but it was like that's the test, that's the challenge, and the people in the Woody want to be pushed. They're not hoping to skate through the season. They're not hoping to be untested. They're not just hoping that someone hands them the national championship trophy without it being earned. Like nobody signs up to be in the Ohio State program without being high achievers and without wanting to be pushed to their limits. So. Confused with the way it was handled on the UCLA side, and then disappointed for the Buckeyes.
So I started the show today with the scene from Good Will Hunting. It's not your fault. When Sean's talking to Will, he's like, it's not Ohio State's fault. It's not their fault.
No.
They can't control who they play. They can't control that it's another 30-plus point favorite this weekend. I don't know if this prepares them for Ann Arbor. I don't know that it doesn't prepare them for Ann Arbor. Your boots on the ground. You talk to these guys all the time. What do they make of this November stretch?
Yeah, it's like they've got a third training camp, Bo, and so I think you can look at it. It's a half full, half empty glass situation. You can make of it whatever you want. I understand the notion outside the program that they're going to be relatively untested. You're not going to know what this team is made of until they get to Ann Arbor or until they prove something maybe in Indianapolis beyond that. I think that some of the bumps and bruises that you're seeing, that's natural at this time of year in college football. But I think it's also because Ryan Day has to balance getting meaningful reps for his team on the practice field. And those are really good players battling each other, good on Tuesdays and bloody Tuesdays, and getting work on Wednesday where they know that they're not going to be pushed to the limit. And you look at the number of snaps that the defense has played the last couple of weeks, it's under 80, I believe. And for the starters, it's much less than that. Arvell's barely played. So they have to get these guys that work. And I think that I really believe that Ryan Day's done a remarkable job of balancing that with, load management has come to college football for this team, not for almost anybody else in the country. But the way he's doing that with, physical practices, they're almost putting more stock in that at this point than what's happened against UCLA or Purdue.
Yeah, from my vantage point, it looks to me like he's trying to manufacture anxiety, manufacture some sort of thing to overcome. I mean, the way he lit up Julian a couple of times on Saturday, and I'm going, holy smokes, and then upping the champions grade, all of that stuff, like it's all to create vulnerability? Is that fair?
Urgency,
there you
I
go.
think.
Urgency. There you go.
Because the other alternative in this conversation is urgency or it's complacency. And I think the battle that Ohio State is fighting right now is against complacency and knowing that they're going to the tests that they want are coming. They're we can see them now. It's not there's not a month to go. There's one game left before they go to the big house, and they will have clinched a spot in the college football playoff, but that is irrelevant to what they want to accomplish on November 29th. So, the physicality, the execution, adding more reps, what you've seen offensively the last couple of weeks, the way that the run game, I think, has responded. to some of this stuff, the competition battle that we've seen and materialize with right guard, while at the same time giving Caleb Downs a half off, protecting Jeremiah Smith on Saturday, getting through this stretch with Carnell Tate so that he can come back with no concerns about his injury status moving forward. Like, that's all, the CEO part of Ryan Day that we have talked about, Bo, a lot over the last 2 years. I think that now we're starting to see that in actual practice, actually playing out as the season progresses. And I don't know if he would have handled this all the same way if he was spending Tuesdays and Wednesdays trying to figure out how to get third down conversions. I think we're seeing the big picture with him in a way that has been really fun to watch, and I think it is really good for Ohio State.
All right, let's do the injury stuff. Carnell first. Did you anticipate him not playing in this game too?
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to play on Saturday night, and there was no reason to. I know that there was a ton of social media chatter, and I certainly know, based on people that we're talking to and message board conversation on Letterman Robo, that people are just they're on alert for a Jackson Smith and Jigba situation. I was told by 4 different people briefed and involved in the situation on Saturday that was not the case, that there was not a season-ending injury for Carnell Tate, that he was not opting out of the college football playoff. Now, I can't guarantee anything with injuries on a day-to-day basis, but everyone suggested that Carnell Tate would be ready, or they thought that he would be ready to play by Saturday against Rutgers. That's still a game that you don't have to play him if there is any lingering concern. So he's still going to have, we can sit here on a Monday and I can say it's not a Jackson situation, it's not season-ending. All these things are certainly subject to change, and I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm just being realistic about it, that he's going to have to get back to practice at some point. He's going to have to test himself on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. And if he feels anything this week, then Ohio State won't play him. And the same thing is true for Jeremiah Smith on Saturday as well. But neither one of them, the folks in the Woody, have been adamant that it is not long-term and there is not real concern on their part. So that's the best that I can do, and I can't guarantee anything moving forward, but I'm passing along the way that they are viewing it right now.
When did the Jeremiah injury occur?
I think that some of the back tightness goes back several weeks to that tough hit that I guess that's been almost a month ago. But he was also, limping a little bit, at least in my eye. He didn't seem like he had the normal power in the run, although when they had him out there, he didn't look any different than his normal alien self. So I think that they were not overly concerned. I watched Jeremiah go through warm-ups. I watched him talk to Brian Hartline and say, no, I'm playing. I'm ready to go. I'm good to go. And so that's, again, another situation that doesn't appear to be any kind of lingering long-term concern, but they were not going to risk it. So it may be two things. I think the back has continued to be something that has been monitored. He got on the exercise bike a lot in that first half to stay loose and warm on Saturday. You could tell that he wanted to play more, but I don't know if there's anything additional that he's picked up in practice since then. It was kind of amusing on Wednesday night, Bo, because we get in there and that's when we're trying to keep our eyes peeled and see who's got what, and if Josh Padilla is going to be able to walk by Saturday or whatever. And all the wide receivers were immediately off the field on Wednesday night before we even got in there. So, they want to be protective of those guys, and they know that there was going to be a lot of attention on them. So I thought that might be coming for Carnell for sure, and I was a little bit surprised because I actually thought that Jeremiah wouldn't play at all on Saturday, but he was adamant that he would.
You think either one play this Saturday?
I think it's a cop-out, Bo. The Carnell is a. I don't want to make a prediction on it because if there's anything at all, it's Rutgers. You don't need it. You have Bryson Rogers playing well. You have Mylan Graham on the rise. Quincy Porter is back. So that's the situation that Ryan Day is finding himself in, because it's the rest versus rust now. We normally talk about that for off weeks and bye situations. He's not played for a couple of weeks, and then you're going to go back out there in the cold, and I'm sure it's going to get – the forecast will start looking worse the closer we get to the 29th. Maybe we'd be looking at a pitch count situation for both Jeremiah and Carnell against Rutgers just to put the game away in a quote-unquote emergency role situation. I could see that definitely happening this week, and I think that might also alleviate some of the scrutiny and pressure and everything else that's been projected on Carnell for the way he's approaching this injury and if he's coming back. I think there might be some benefit to that, but it's Monday, and I will I'll reserve my bold prediction until maybe Friday.
All right, I'll get you out of here on this one because beyond the two receivers, Julian tweaked an ankle. I mean, we all saw the play, and I thought it affected his accuracy because it's his base, and I think it affected his accuracy as the game went along. There was miscommunication, too. What was your sense post-game? And obviously Ryan will talk tomorrow with his presser. He's available tonight here on the Fan on the roundtable. What is your feeling on Julian and his health?
Yeah, I think I talked to Berman. I talked to him briefly after the game outside the press conference. He expressed no concern about it, just as a normal thing, and the timing was off. I would put Julian personally in the same bucket as Jeremiah and Carnell for Saturday, and that's not to say that he is legitimately injured. I'm saying if you get to halftime and the score is the same as it was against UCLA, maybe let Lincoln get that work and make sure that you've crossed every T and dotted every I to make sure that you're as healthy as you can possibly be for this stretch run. And also because I think Lincoln played well off the bench on Saturday, and he is more than capable of leading them to a win against Rutgers. But if you want to save 20 snaps on that ankle, I think there should be an opportunity to do that, and I don't think that Ryan Day would hesitate to do that with Lincoln Keenholz the way he's playing right now.
You're the best, buddy. Thanks for your time. We'll do it again next week, where I promise you we won't talk about Rutgers at all.
No, we will not. It'll be a busy week, and I can't wait for it to get here.
It'll be here soon. Thanks for your time, buddy.
See you, Bob.
All right, there he goes. Austin Ward, The Beat with Austin Berman, the Roosters live show on YouTube on the Brian Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.